So let's talk about Christmas with the Kranks with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. Does it really deserve the hate it got 16 years ago? Or can I tell these critics off? Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. Right now, what I'm going to do when I defend this film right now in this review. Ho, 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 ho! This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Ho, ho, ho! So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you all as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2004 Christmas comedy flick Christmas with the Kranks, released by Columbia for Revolution Studios, directed by Joe Roth, who happened to be the founder of Revolution Studios, written and produced by Chris Columbus, starring Tim Allen along with Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Aykroyd, Eric Persullivan, Cheech Marin, Jake Busey, and M. Emmett Walsh. Also, Tom Poston in his final performance before he passed away 3 years later. The film is based on John Grisham's novel Skipping Christmas, which came out 3 years before this movie was even resurrected and what have you, or something like that. Well, you get a point. Anyway, the film tells of a couple who decide to skip Christmas 1 year since their daughter's away, much to the chagrin of their neighbors, until their daughter decides to come out at the last minute. Well, I can tell you that this film, I've had some liking for this film. I've seen it maybe a couple times, but then I revisited it a few years back, and it's pretty good. Anyway, the couple I'm about to talk about is Luther and Nora Krank, who live in Riverside, Illinois, as they see their daughter Blair, played by Julie Gonzalo, who recently appeared in the Freaky Friday remake, if I'm not mistaken. Give me a second. Yep, that would be her. I thought it was. Sorry. Well, she departs for a Peace Corps assignment in Peru on the Sunday following Thanksgiving. Empty nest syndrome sets in. Luther calculates that he and Nora spent $6,132 during the previous year's holiday season, and not looking forward to celebrating Christmas without their daughter, he suggests they invest the money usually spent on decorations, gifts, entertainment, and I don't know what have you, treat themselves to a 10-day Caribbean cruise instead. Luther insists that they completely boycott the holidays, and eventually Nora agrees. So the Kranks are made to discover that they are considered pariahs as a result of their decision to skip the holidays. Most vocal in their objections are neighbors Vic Froymeyer and Walt Scheel. Vic, that's Dan Aykroyd, who is the self-proclaimed leader of the street, organizes a campaign to force the Kranks to decorate their home. Walt, that's Emmett Walsh, does not seem to like Luther, so his efforts are primarily personal. However, it is revealed that Walt's wife, Bev, is suffering from cancer, perhaps dampening his holiday spirits. A group of children, led by Vic's son Spike, that's Eric Persullivan, constantly force them to put up a Frosty the Snowman decoration, and Christmas carolers try to revive the Kranks' holiday spirit by singing on their lawn, which Luther stops by freezing his front lawn. Even the newspaper gets into the act by publishing a front-page story, complete with a photograph of the unlit Krank house. Still, Luther and Nora continue to stand their ground. The two are in the process of packing on Christmas Eve morning when they receive a call from Blair, who announces that she is at Miami International Airport en route home with her Peruvian fiancé, Enrique, as a surprise for her parents. When Blair asks if they are having their usual party that night, a panicked Nora says yes. Comic chaos ensues as Luther and Nora find themselves trying to decorate the house in coordinate a party with only 12 hours to spare before their daughter and future son-in-law arrive. While Nora scrambles to find food, Luther goes to buy a tree, but is unable to get anything but a small dried up tree that quickly loses what few leaves it has. Luther then attempts to borrow the tree of a neighbor, West Trogdon, who is going away for a week with family to visit his in-laws, with a warning that he is not to break a single ornament or damage it. Luther enlists Spike's help to transport the tree across the street, but the neighbors spot him and, assuming he is stealing the tree, call the police. Spike comes to Luther's rescue by showing that Luther has Trogdon's keys and thus was given permission to borrow the tree. Nora comes home, having only been able to obtain smoked trout. Yeah, not big can of honey ham, and orders Luther to put up Frosty on the roof of their house, which fails miserably when he and Frosty fall off the roof. Oh boy. Now for the last act and ending. You know the procedure. 5 seconds to stop. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie, continue on after the 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Once it is established why Luther is trying frantically to decorate his home, the neighbors, led by Vic, come out in full force to help him and Nora ready it for Blair. And soon she calls to say she landed from Miami, and the neighbors send the police to pick her up and stall long enough to let everyone finish setting up. The party starts off strong, with Blair having no idea of the earlier drama. Enrique thanks everyone for the warm welcome, and Nora thanks her neighbors for being a strong community. Luther, to everyone's disappointment, offers only a half-hearted toast. When Nora confronts Luther, he tries to convince her to still go on the cruise, but Nora refuses, disgusted that he is not happy that Blair is home. Having a change of heart, Luther slips out of the house and goes across the street to the Shield home. Bev's cancer, once in remission, has returned, and knowing this may be their last holiday together, Luther insists that they take the cruise in place of him and Nora, going so far as to offer to take care of their cat, Muffles. At first, Walt and Bev decline, but ultimately decide to accept his generosity. Luther, whose holiday spirit has been renewed, realizes skipping Christmas was not a good idea. Oh no, sir. With Nora jokingly suggesting maybe they should do it next year. End of story. So, what did I think of Christmas with the Kranks? Well, after revisiting it a time or two, I'm going to say it's funny and what have you. I did like it after I watched it a few years ago. And what can I say? It's so much fun. It is a bit underrated, though. The film went on to make, about 96 million. Yeah, worldwide. Its opening weekend made 21 million, losing to National Treasure and The Incredibles, a couple of Disney movies at once. But however, a lot of critics heavily dissed the film and what have you. But audiences, however, liked it and gave it a B on the cinema score, A+ to F scale, which that was good. But critics dissed this film big time. But, well, don't mind them. They just can't get into much of a fun-filled spirit of Christmas. Of a flick, you know. Nevertheless, I really like the performances from everyone. Tim Allen, not too bad. Jamie Lee Curtis, really good. And Dan Aykroyd. Let's see, we have Joey Gonzalo, Emmett Walls. We have Elizabeth Franz in this, and young Eric Pursullivan. We got Cheech Marin as Officer Salino, and Jake Busey as his partner, Officer Treen. Austin Pendleton, who I know him best from the Muppet movie. He's in this as well. Tom Poston. Everybody may know him as Mr. Bickley from the second and third seasons of Mork and Mindy. Well, he also appeared briefly in the first season and one episode of the fourth season. And of course, he was also on, let's see, TV's Newhart. Yeah, where he played George Utley. But anyway, it's had a pretty good cast, and well, it's not quite one of the best Christmas flicks, but it does have a lot of fun moments. And well, I will say this did much better than another Christmas flick that came out just a little bit before this. And that was Surviving Christmas. I do believe that came out the same year that did. But that film tanked big time. This one didn't. This did reasonable, despite what critics said. But the story's not too bad. But the movie has its moments. It's got some fun moments. I just had a few good laughs with. So the question is, would I recommend Christmas with the Kranks? Well, yeah, sure, go ahead. It's pretty good. And John Debney does the score for this. Very good. So, anyway, that's about it. I say give Christmas with the Kranks a go for if you haven't seen it. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Christmas with the Kranks? Please feel free to tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another underrated Christmas flick, that being I'll Be Home for Christmas. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, check out these other fun-filled vids. In the upper left-hand corner is my playlist, yes, I finally fixed it up, of my reviews of the Santa Claus trilogy with Tim Allen. I know you'll enjoy those if you haven't seen them. Or if you want some more Christmassy fun, go to the upper right-hand corner for my review of Chris Columbus's recent hit, The Christmas Chronicles 2, which has done pretty well on my channel. Or if you want a little help of Jamie Lee Curtis, go to the bottom left-hand corner for my recent review of Freaky Friday 2003, which Julie Gonzalo also appears in. Yes, she was Stacy Hinkhouse. I forgot to point that out. My apologies. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe, which I'm now finally back up there. I'm now at 258 subscribers. And remember, the Q&A is coming up real soon. The deadline is December 31st, New Year's Eve. So give me some questions in the comment section, or go to the discussion section on my YouTube page, or give me your questions via Messenger on Facebook. Okay? If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.